At the time of this recording, I've spent over a decade in sales across multiple industries. I've built teams and I've closed a ton of deals myself. But if I had to go back and give my 20-year-old self the brutal truth about how to sell faster, close more, and stop leaving money on the table, here is exactly what I would say. But before we dive in, if you're running a business doing between $250,000 and $2 million and you've hit a plateau, I built a 3-minute diagnostic tool that tells you exactly what's choking your growth. It's free and links in the description. Now let's get into the video. Number 1, nobody cares about your product. They care about themselves. See, so most salespeople walk into a call ready to talk. They're ready to present and they're ready to impress. And that is exactly why they lose. Because the buyer on the other end of that phone isn't thinking about the features of your product. They're thinking about their problem. They're thinking about a deadline. They're thinking about the pressure of that moment. And if you make that conversation about you, you are going to lose them immediately. So make it about them every single time. Number 2, asking questions is more powerful than any pitch you'll ever deliver. Most people think that selling is talking, and it's not. It's all about listening. And the sales rep who asks the best questions controls the conversation. Whoever's asking the questions is guiding the direction of that call. It's called frame control, and it's everything in sales. If you're doing more than 40% of the talking on a discovery call, you're pitching when you should be diagnosing more. So stop talking and start asking questions. Number 3, your marketing is going to decide the quality of the sales conversations before you ever pick up the phone. So this is kind of a weird one for a lot of salespeople to wrap their head around. But every single touch point a prospect sees before they talk to you is doing selling work. Your emails, your website, your videos, your social content. And if your assets are generic, your leads are gonna come in cold and skeptical. If that content is really specific and valuable to the person you're delivering it to, those leads are gonna come in warm and ready and pre-qualified to be on that call. The sale doesn't start on the call, it starts with the first moment that they hear about you. Number 4, solve problems for qualified buyers, not anyone with a pulse. Broke prospects are gonna drain your energy. They're gonna waste your time and they're gonna haggle over every single dollar. See, the quality of your leads actually determines the quality of your conversations. Higher quality leads close faster, they complain less, and they refer more. You wanna chase people who are the right fit, because 10 conversations with the right person beats 100 conversations with the wrong one. It's literally math. Number 5 is use pain, agitate, solution in that exact order and never skip those steps. So here's what most salespeople do, is they discover a pain point and they immediately jump into the solution. That is a mistake. You need to let that person's pain breathe. You need to get to know the problem and make it real for them. Ask them something like, what if this doesn't get fixed in the next 90 days? Like, what are you gonna do then? You need to ask them like, what is it costing them right now? In money or losing sleep or whatever the pain is. Then ask them what it would be like if that issue got worse before it got better. And you don't need to ask it exactly like that. It can be a lot more conversational. It's just the general flow of the conversation needs to go in this direction of like, oh, like I want to understand who you are, then understand your pain, then like really dig into that before I offer whatever it is I'm trying to close you on. Number 6, qualifying a prospect is not optional. It's literally your job. Too often, salespeople skip right into the solution, right into the product or whatever it is that you're trying to sell, especially for cold leads, because they're afraid that they're gonna lose the lead. So they go into a full demo with somebody who like literally can't buy, they can't decide, or they actually don't have the problem that you solve. You want to ask them things like, what's the history that's led you to this moment? Like, what have you tried before? What are you doing right now? Understand the trajectory of the direction that they're going. That is gonna set you up to understand how to then later provide the solution. Number 7, knowing your product deeply is a form of respect for your buyer. Top reps are gonna know enough to actually consult them through the process. When you understand your product at a level where you can speak to specific outcomes for specific situations, your buyer is gonna feel understood. And the trust in that situation is gonna go up. And when they feel emotionally connected to you, objections are just gonna kind of melt away. And also, if you don't have the answer to a question, have a resource ready so that you can get the answer on the call. Whether that's a person, a PDF, a case study, or a video like this that you can send to somebody. Because the whole idea behind marketing and sales is really to get the prospect to see themselves in your solution. So giving them a resource is gonna allow them to do that. That is a smart follow-up system. Now, before we keep going, we've got 10 subscribers on this channel, and we're pushing really hard right now to build the channel and build all the other social channels. So if this is hitting home for you, I would love it if you subscribe to the video, like it, and come back for more. Number 8 is frame control. Now, I want you to take this seriously. Go read Pitch Anything by Oren Klaff. This guy broke down the neuroscience of why people buy. It's changed everything about how I approach every single call with people. The core idea of this is whoever controls the frame controls the conversation. So you don't let the buyer set the agenda. You let them think that they are setting the agenda because you're asking open-ended questions. You need to open the call with a strong frame. The example that he gives in the book is a cop pulls you over. That is an authority frame. That person has power and authority in that frame when they pull you over. So you need to establish yourself as an authority immediately. Don't say you're a sales rep, or don't say you just work for XYZ company. Your title and your energy is gonna set the frame before you ever say a word to them. Number 9, your nervous system is a sales tool. You need to protect your mind and protect your body. Sales is a high contact sport. You might make hundreds of dials and get told no most of the time. And that's just the math. If your 30% conversion rate means 7 out of 10 people say no, then you have to be mentally ready for that. Every single day and through every single call. Walk in the morning. Exercise, drink some water, have some weights on the ground to lift in case you start to feel burnt out. A burned out person is gonna sound burnt out, and buyers can feel it. Your nervous system is on the call whether you want it to be there or not. Number 10 is fail faster, because no's are just math on the way to a yes. The quality of your life is equal to the number of difficult conversations you're willing to have. That quote from Tim Ferriss rearranged the way that I think about rejection. Literally every no is one step closer to a yes. Just use that as motivation, right? If you need 10 conversations to close one deal, then every no is 10% of a sale. So stop dreading rejection and literally pull out a piece of paper and count the amount of times that you get rejected, because literally you can count your way to success. Number 11, sales should not feel pushy or manipulative. And if it does, you're doing it completely wrong. The best salespeople I know feel more like consultants than they do closers. They are genuinely trying to figure out if that person has a real fit for whatever it is that they're doing. And that authenticity is something that people can feel. Because buyers, they can smell forced urgency or fake enthusiasm from a mile away. And if your pitch feels scripted and pressured, they are gonna feel that. So your goal on calls is to be honest and be helpful. If somebody's not a good fit, then tell them that. Don't just try and sell everybody who has a pulse, because that kind of integrity builds the reputation that fills your whole pipeline. Number 12, don't sound like everyone else. Differentiation is actually a survival skill. Most prospects have talked to 5 versions of you before they picked up your call. It's the same opener, the same pitch, and the same close. So if you lead with something unexpected, something personal, something that shows you actually understand and care, you're gonna break through. When people feel really personable versus following a script or trying to close the deal, push the sale, that feels really disingenuous. So do your research. Reference something real about their business. Show them that you actually did a little bit of work before that call. Because that's the difference between sounding like a call center, somebody who like called T-Mobile or AT&T, get a recorded line or whatever, and like somebody actually genuine that's worth talking to. Number 13, your niche is your leverage. So own it completely. When you try to sell to everyone, your message gets weak. An example is like a physical therapy practice that promises to help anyone in pain. I mean, that sounds fine, but a physical therapy practice that specifically helps men over 40 improve their golf swing and run without knee pain sounds exactly right to a very specific person. And that specificity earns trust faster than any sales technique. So your goal is to go narrow and go deep with people. Know your buyer's world better than they know themselves, because that's where people feel really understood and where closes happen. Number 14, the double tap in sales works, so use it. If somebody schedules a call and doesn't pick up, call back immediately a second time. Not 5 minutes later, literally right that moment. 2 calls in a row signals importance. When's the last time you got a call and then immediately somebody called again? It breaks this like pattern recognition of like, oh, like who's trying to get a hold of me right now? And here's a small tactical move. If you text somebody your name before you call and they have an iPhone, it can show up as a suggested contact on their screen. It'll say maybe and then insert your name. So that alone can increase answer rates. Number 15 is to follow up with value, not volume. Most reps follow up too often and say nothing when they do. They just check in, they circle back, they touch base. Honestly, those phrases don't really mean a lot to the prospect. So you want to follow up with something useful, a case study, some useful article, some kind of video that will actually inspire them and educate them. Value-based follow-up earns replies way more than empty check-ins, because often a lot of people will ghost you when that happens. Number 16 is just know who to refer out to and actually do that. If somebody comes to you and they're clearly outside of your niche, send them to somebody better, because that actually builds your credibility instead of taking away from it. Know the other people in your space. Know who specializes in what you don't. Referring somebody to the right person when you're actually not the right fit will build more trust than any close you'll ever try to make. And trying to close somebody that's not the right fit is only gonna degrade trust. Like, people can feel that right away, that you're trying to hard sell them. And people will remember you when you send them to somewhere that actually gave them the result they were looking for. Your generosity becomes your reputation. Number 17, the perceived value of what you sell has to be bigger than the price, and by a lot. Because buyers don't buy the weight of something in dollars, they weigh it in time, they weigh it in the risk, and they weigh it in the transformation that it's gonna have in their life. If what you're offering doesn't feel like it's worth significantly more than all of those things combined, they probably are not gonna move on it. People buy certainty and they buy outcomes that are so clear and compelling that the price feels small compared to what they're getting out of working with you. Number 18, your tone is your conversion rate. I've trained and watched a lot of sales reps deliver the perfect pitch, but in the wrong tone and in the wrong pace, and that loses them the deal. Because when you talk too quickly and you're trying to sell something, I start to feel anxious when I hear sales reps speed up when they feel like they're about to lose the sale. The most effective salespeople that I've ever worked with or been sold from have a pace that says, I've got nothing to prove. I don't really need your sale. And because of that, they come across clear and calm, they're confident, and their words actually land. Because my experience of that is like my nervous system actually responds to the tone more than it's actually responding to their words in those moments. Number 19, courage in sales means making the call that you don't want to make. Typically, when I've done sales, it's always that first dial that feels the most anxiety ridden. You don't want to pick up the phone. You don't want to start talking to people because it feels anxious sometimes to put yourself out there. The practice of this is really to build momentum, and once you make the first 2-3 dials, just like clockwork, it tends to feel easier to get through to those next calls. It's like once you start to build that momentum, the rock starts to just kind of roll down the hill and it becomes a lot easier. So just start. Number 20, the transformation you're selling matters way more than the transaction. At the end of every great sales conversation, there should be a picture in the buyer's mind of what their world is gonna look like after they say yes. If people feel like you're just trying to make a sale, they're gonna feel that because it's in your nervous system. So don't just try to make the sale for the sake of making the sale. Sell the transformation in their mind, what their life will actually look like. Because if you can paint that image clearly and allow them to feel it, the close feels like it's leading to something much bigger and transformative in the buyer's life. Now that is what sales is at its best. It's not a transfer of money, it's a transfer in a bigger belief, a changing of a belief system in a better outcome in the buyer's mind. All right, if you got value from this video and you want a custom 90-day growth plan for your business, grab it free below. That's it. I'll catch you next time.